On July 27th, our class took a 6-hour trip to the small town of El Jobo, located approximately 279 kilometers away from San Jose. El Jobo is a small town where the Ticos mainly depend on fishing for work, as the ocean is extremely close to the town. Most Ticos are Catholic and only speak Spanish, which is good practice for us. Located on El Jobo Beach is the resort Dream Las Marias, that prides itself on being eco-friendly, yet makes no effort to collaborate with local research groups like Equipo Tora-Carey on making sure that hatched turtles find their way to the ocean, instead of ending up in pools or stuck in beach chairs. In order to build the resort, they also had to remove mangroves, a coastal tree and an important part of the ecosystem because they are home to many fish, crabs, and mollusks.
Our goals for the next 2 days were to learn about the sea turtles, including their foraging and nesting grounds, as well as collecting data on the stingrays of Playa Raya. To go to Matapulito, also known as Turtle Paradise, we sailed with Captain Jack. Matapulito Bay is home to many different organisms, but its uniqueness comes from its use as a foraging ground for sea turtles, where they find food and refuge during their juvenile years. Because sea turtles have to wait until they are around 35 years old to mate, research groups like Equipo Tora-Carey are specifically interested in learning more about sea turtles during their teenage years by monitoring and protecting the 5 species of sea turtles that live in the area. Equipo Tora-Carey is a collaborative effort as they work with local fishermen along with their families, as well as employees and volunteers.
For the first hour at Matapulito, we went snorkeling around the area in hopes to find more sea turtles and other wildlife. While snorkeling, we found some stingrays, coral reefs, marine fish, eels, sea urchins, and even an olive ridley floating at the top. Sebastian swam around the area with a spear that takes tissue samples from rays at the bottom of the ocean. We were also unfortunate enough to get stung by tiny jellyfish that were located all around the area. Once we were back on the boat, 3 turtles were caught, 2 of them by hand and 1 by the net specifically placed by ETC. Matapulito is home to 5 species: the olive ridley, the green turtle, the black turtle, the hawksbill, and the Indo-Pacific turtle known by the locals as Tora-Carey. However, we only caught the olive ridley, black turtle, and the Tora-Carey. Using a notebook to write down the data, we took the height and the width of the shell, and for the male, the length of the anus to the tip of the tail. The weight of the turtles, as well as checking for parasites in between the shell and the flippers. Turtles are then tagged in order to keep track of population and migration patterns.
After lunch, we made our way back to El Jobo Beach, where we would capture rays and take down their information. We were able to find several species, including brown rays and butterfly rays. Information on the length and width of the ray, gender, and if female, whether she is pregnant or not, weight, as well as the condition of the eyes, checking for purple and white colors indicating blindness, were taken. Recent data at Playa Raya has found that many of the rays are blind in this area for an unknown reason. Tissue samples were also taken and the rays were tagged with a brown color tag. In the past, pink tags were used and smaller fish would eat them thinking they were food. When taking data on the rays, we were needed to provide oxygen for them while they were in the buckets of seawater for examination. While other measurements were being taken, a shirt was used to hold the stinger to ensure safety for both the ray and the student. We were able to collect data on at least 10 rays.
On Sunday, we spent the morning learning and observing the mutualistic relationship between the acacia tree and its host, the Azteca ants. In exchange for nectar and a home, the ants protect the tree from intruders that might destroy the plant. Our specific experiment looked to answer this question: how will ants respond to intruders within their community on the acacia trees? We observed 2 different medium-sized acacia trees in the same area and placed several intruders, including an ant from a nearby tree, a spider, a grasshopper, a millipede, and a scorpion, one at a time, either near the thorn or on the leaf of the tree. The ants' response was immediate as they began to move at rapid speeds, and for some intruders, they attempted to attack them. Through our observations, we found that the acacia ants are very protective of the tree and their home. However, the location where the intruder was dropped determined whether the ants would attack or not. If the intruder was placed closer to the thorn, the attack was much faster and was more often deadly. The only reason the species wouldn't get killed by the ants is if they were able to escape due to their size or if they fell off the branch. Thorns offer protection for the ants. It is clear that the acacia tree and the Azteca ants represent a mutualistic relationship.
Our trip to El Jobo taught us about the importance of maintaining a healthy relationship between both the wildlife and the locals. It is more than possible for researchers, volunteers, and employers to collectively work together with the locals and wildlife to avoid any detrimental collisions. In fact, they are a lot more useful to each other than they could imagine.